Hi everyone, this is HE47 Liberty, and I'm here to talk about the Silver Soap Opera. Earlier I had made a video about the Silver Soap Opera manipulation, and now I want to tell you the who, what, when, and why, so you can get more filled in so you can follow it more closely yourself. The Silver Soap Opera is now taking place in New York and London, and also worldwide. Why? Why do I want to call this a soap opera? It's because all soap operas have deception, which leads to conflict. The story takes a long time to unfold, and lives are destroyed in the process. This takes place among the rich and the powerful. The only difference between the soap operas on TV and the silver market is the silver market is real. It is taking place in real time, not just for an hour on a stage studio somewhere. It's real time in real place. To appreciate our little soap opera story, one must know the theme of the story and its principal characters. The theme: financial fraud. 7 billion ounces sold without having any physical silver. They, the bad guys, they've sold the silver they didn't have. Remember the movie Boiler Room? Yeah, this is Boiler Room on steroids. They have nothing. They just sold pieces of paper. They just signed them and gave them to investors as if they had real silver on hand. The characters. Here's the bad guys. Ben Bernanke, head of the crime family organization called the Federal Reserve. His function is to make counterfeit money and shovel it to his main capo, Jamie Dimon, who happens to be the head of J.P. Morgan. Through J.P. Morgan, he cleans the money and inserts it into the economy by buying commodities. And his head buyer is Blythe Masters, an English woman, and also known as the Ice Queen. What rhymes with rich? Blythe. Then, as their cover boy, to provide cover for their little fraud shenanigans, is Barack Obama. He's a political figure, just like in a regular soap opera. He's the political figure with a shady and shaky and mysterious past. He doesn't even use his real name. He's the cover man. He's the orator. Barack Obama. All right. Then there's the 12 Federal Reserve governors. They act as a consigliere for Uncle Ben Bernanke, the head of the crime family. Remember the movie with the Corleones? Okay, then there's the CFTC. It is the cover organization in the government. It is called, its real name is the Commodities Future Trading Commission. Its acronym is CFTC, and it's just another government agency covering for the bad guys, pretending to be on the side of honest people. Sound familiar? Then there's the good guys. They are led by Ron Paul, the uncorruptible Texas congressman gunning to bring down Ben Bernanke and his crime organization, his crime counterfeiting organization. And there's Lou Rockwell, the uncompromising intellectual oracle of economic knowledge. He's the consigliere of the good guys. And then there's Alex Jones, the town crier, the alarmist. If he's going off, then you know it's true. Then there's Ted Butler, dashing, hard-nosed investigative reporter who everyone dismissed as a kook and much maligned by the bad guys, only to be proven correct. Jim Willey, facts man of historical record. as to the goings-ons of the bad guys and its social implications for the rest of us. Then there's GATA. We have our own organization. It's called GATA. It's an underdog organization dedicated to exposing the lies and frauds in the precious metals market. Then last but not least is Max Kaiser with his sidekick, Stacy Herbert. He's kind of like the sheriff with his posse of silver vigilantes shooting holes in the shroud of deceit surrounding the fraud in the silver market. He has actually devised a plan to bring down J.P. Morgan by getting all good people to buy at least 1 ounce of physical silver. Then there are the bad guys. These are the most interesting ones. These are the bad guys being good just to thwart their rivals. It's the Chinese. They gave the U.S., J.P. Morgan, 300 million ounces of silver as a loan. It was loaned to the U.S. so they could have most favored nation trading status with the United States. And just recently, they've asked for their 300 million ounces back. Well, we don't have it. Or I shouldn't say we. J.P. Morgan and the government sold it behind their back. And in return, they gave them worthless IOUs called U.S. dollars. Pieces of paper, basically. The Chinese are, lack of a better word, pissed. And they're getting their revenge by bidding up the silver price, which is causing J.P. Morgan lots of headaches. Then there's the Russians. Yes, our old favorite rivals, the Russians. They were ignored when the wall came down. They were ignored by the U.S. and all of our and by most of the allies, and they felt that they were stiffed and shunned. And then Bush went and wanted to point missiles at them after the wall and everything is down, and we're supposed to all be one big happy family. And they wanted to restart the Cold War, which the Russians lost. Which then the Russians, of course, want revenge for losing the Cold War. And as you know, the Russians are great chess players. And they haven't survived in the middle of the planet on the largest continent of the world all these thousands of years because they're stupid. The Russians are good chess players. They are already about probably 12 moves ahead of us. And let me say, payback is going to be a bitch. Then there's the opportunist. It's called the Winter Benton Group. It's a group of ex-JP Morgan commodity traders. They are disgruntled after being dismissed by Blythe and Company. Remember Blythe Master, the head of the trading of commodities for JP Morgan? Instead of going postal, they are going to seek revenge, as in the movie Trading Places. They are going to corner the silver market by standing for delivery for silver that J.P. Morgan doesn't have, thus exposing J.P. Morgan's management as criminals that they rightly are. So the Winter Benton Group wants to see them in an alley drinking out of a paper bag. Remember the Duke and Duke brothers? All right, that's how they want them to end up. So you have an opportunity here. You can become a part of the action. That's right. Don't just sit there. Become part of the action. This may be the world's first interactive soap opera, where you can join our silver soap opera and become an actual participant in this story. Not only can you join in on this soap opera, but you could become rich in doing so. Just buy an ounce of silver, and you will automatically become a vigilante in the silver soap opera. Come and be a part of a real story and history. Become part of the Silver Liberation Army and become a vigilante. I hope to see you a part of our little honest group here and bring justice to the world, go buy an ounce of silver. Remember, trust in God. Everyone else pays in silver.